In the movie Axel, we see a powerful robotic dog named Axel, created by a Crane Systems scientist. But what will happen if this dog, which is a weapon, runs away? What will happen to Miles and Sarah, who find this dog and become friends with it? Can Miles and Sarah save their new friend before it's too late? Keep watching to find out what happens next. At the start of the film, AXL, we see a scientist named Andric who made an artificial dog. This dog had advanced features and was very powerful, like a weapon. Andric believed it would be useful in the future. Then the scene changes to a bike racing event. A boy named Miles was there, but his bike was not working. He asked for help from the people around, but they were from another team and didn't help him. Meanwhile, a girl named Sarah arrived and gave Miles the chain from her bike. With her help, Miles started racing again and luckily won. After the race, a boy named Sam invited Miles to a party at his home that night. Miles didn't like Sam and didn't want to go, but he got to know that Sarah would be there, so he decided to go. At the party, Miles saw that Sam was not good-mannered and was setting things on fire just for fun. Miles didn't like this and did not find anything interesting at the party. He went to Sam's bike collection place, and Sarah followed him. They started talking. Later, Miles was sitting with his father and told him that they were poor, but he needed money and wanted to do something about it. Then, the scene changes to Andric, the scientist who made the artificial dog named Axel. Andric was worried because Axel had run away. He got a call from the army, saying that he had made an illegal weapon. They warned him that if they found Axel, the government would take it away and not return it to him. Andric agreed to give them Axel in 2 days because he had made it illegal. After this, we see Sam and Miles again. Sam told Miles they were going to the hills to enjoy themselves and do some bike racing. He invited Miles to join them, saying they would also make videos and post them so the public would like him. Miles already wanted to become famous and earn money. He was already feeling trapped, so he went with Sam to the hills. When they arrived, Sam and Miles started talking. Sam saw that Miles was not paying attention to his bike. Seizing the opportunity, Sam poured a soft drink into Miles's bike. This made it hard for Miles to ride or do stunts safely. Sam's goal was to embarrass Miles. When it was time for everyone to show their stunts, Miles started his bike. Before he could perform his stunt, his bike fell into a ditch. Miles also fell badly and got injured. His bike was damaged, and he was hurt. After this, Sam did something even worse. He didn't check if Miles was all right. He just left him and walked away. Miles felt bad about this and decided he needed to do something alone. He stood up, picked up his bike, and made himself okay. He started his bike and left the area. Before he went far, he saw a huge container making noises. Curious, Miles went over and opened it. Inside, he found Axel, the artificial dog. When Axel saw Miles, it began to chase him. Miles sped away on his bike, doing stunts without caring about what was in front of him. Axel tried to follow but couldn't copy all the stunts and fell. Miles felt bad when Axel fell because he remembered how he had fallen, and no one had helped him. He went back to Axel because he had a kind heart. Miles saw that Axel was a robot shaped like a dog. He spoke to it calmly, saying not to worry as he won't hurt him and will help him. He checked Axel and found a rod which was causing it pain. He removed the rod, and Axel felt better. It seemed like Axel wanted to thank Miles, and it looked like they would become friends. Miles learned that Axel had run away from where it was created. There had to be a reason for its escape. Miles understood that Axel was not just any robot, but had been designed with special features and abilities. After spending a lot of time together, they became good friends. Axel had the qualities of a dog, so it behaved like one. It played with Miles. Meanwhile, Sarah asked Sam what he had done with Miles and where he was. Sam replied that he hadn't done anything, and that Miles deserved it. He told her that if she was worried, she should go and see. He then told her where he had left Miles. Miles and Axel were playing, and the scientist who made Axel was watching through the robot's camera. He told the people with him that he had told them the robot dog he made was good and could live with humans. However, the army and government said it was illegal. The scientist wanted to show that Axel could live with humans. His companions tried to stop him, but he didn't listen. Sarah arrived where Miles was, but Axel got angry when it saw her and barked. Miles told it to stop, saying she was his friend and would not harm it. Then he asked Sarah to come and talk to Axel. Sarah and Axel became friends. They spent the night there, enjoying themselves because Axel played music with its technology. The next morning, Miles decided they had to leave. They put Axel in their truck and left. When they ran out of gas and stopped at a gas station, they had no money, but Axel hacked the system and gave Miles some money. With it, Miles bought food and fuel. Then they went to a place where Sarah showed them her paintings. Axel also displayed some graphical representations stored in it. They realized Axel wasn't an ordinary dog. It was made for the army and could be used as a weapon. Miles found a chip in Axel, which meant he could control the robot dog. While they were there, Sam showed up to bother them. Sarah faces him and said he came there to tease them again and should go away because she knew what he did. Sam started fighting with Sarah. Miles and Axel also arrived at the location. When Sam became aggressive with Miles, Axel got angry because Miles was its friend. Axel attacked Sam. Meanwhile, the scientist's companions told him they needed to go there to prevent Axel from harming anyone. The scientist replied that now was the chance to see what Axel would do. Axel attacked Sam, who got scared and ran away, but Axel did not hurt him. Sarah gets angry at Miles for attacking Sam. She said her mother worked for his family, and he could take revenge. Sarah said he could have kept quiet. They left the place and told Axel to stay there. Miles and Sarah went home, where Miles told his father everything. His father said that if they found Axel, they should give it back to its owner. Meanwhile, Sam, angry and seeking revenge, went to set Axel on fire. He spread fuel everywhere and ignited it. He then sent a video of the fire to Sarah. Sarah and Miles went to the location, but by then, Axel was already burned. A signal from Axel's body showed how it could be fixed. Sarah and Miles took Axel to a place where they started repairing its system. The final step was to reboot Axel, which would take 2.5 hours. Unfortunately, the scientist found Axel's location and sent his companions to search for it and bring it back. Miles didn't want this to happen and hoped Axel would reboot quickly. After 2.5 hours, Axel rebooted and began barking at the people around it. Axel had scanned Sam when Sam was using it, so now it wanted to take revenge on Sam. Axel started searching for Sam and found him. It began attacking Sam, but Sam used a fire-starting tool to try to defend himself. Axel was not afraid and continued to attack. Fortunately for Axel, the fuel in Sam's tool ran out, so he couldn't use more fire. Now, Axel moved towards Sam for a final attack. Just then, Miles and Sarah arrived at the scene. They told Axel that he was a good dog and not to do something like this. They tried to stop it, but then a drone appeared, sent by the scientist. The drone weakened Axel. The scientist arrived, took Axel and changed its settings. Because of this, Axel's memory was erased, and it forgot the past. It became evil. When Sarah arrived, Axel couldn't recognize her. Sarah started making a gesture with her hand. Axel remembered that Sarah had done this before, so it began to recognize her. Axel realized who was harming it and turned to attack the scientist. But soon, the army and government officials arrived and arrested the scientist for his illegal actions. They were about to approach Axel, but Sarah and Miles took Axel with them. Sarah stepped outside and surrendered to the army. She did this so Miles and Axel could escape. Miles and Axel ran into the forest, but army helicopters were chasing after them. They reached a distance, but Miles fell and fractured his elbow. He told Axel to leave and said that he did not want anyone to harm Axel. Axel did not want to go, but Miles insisted, so Axel ran away quickly. Even though helicopters followed it, Axel was determined to destroy itself to prevent anyone from harming it. Before it did, Axel took one last look at Miles and wanted to say goodbye. It thought about how Miles had supported it and was a good friend. Then, Axel self-destructed in a huge blast. Miles watched, feeling sad and depressed. Later, the scientist was in jail, and an army captain visited him. She asked him if they thought Axel might be activating again and what they should do. She asks if he would reboot it or destroy it. The scientist was surprised by the question, but the captain said they needed his help. The scientist was taken out of jail to help with the situation. Meanwhile, Sarah and Miles were being praised for their bravery. They received a scholarship and went to the beach. They had a husky dog. Miles showed Sarah a tool and asked them to turn it on.